We have not nursed in a week. That's nuts. It's crazy. If you had told me in the video that I made before that this would happen, I would probably believe you because eventually she's gonna stop nursing. But hey guys, my name is Shayla. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, we talk about motherhood, we talk about pregnancy, we do things kind of natural, kind of hippie, kind of eco-friendly. But also, if you don't do any of those things, you're still welcome. I try and make videos just talking about the journey of motherhood and how challenging it could be, but also challenging you to have a positive mindset about it for your own happiness, really. I have an Instagram, Hey Shayla, and a podcast, Hey Shayla. I have between like 1.5 and 2-year-old and between 3.5 and 4-year-old. I also just came up with this thought prompt book. I had these made. I feel like social media specifically is just stealing joy from moms, and I think a lot of new moms are on it when they're breastfeeding, when they're pumping, right before they go to sleep. I think it makes you sleep worse, wonder what you're doing wrong. It's too much information. So I made this thought prompt book so that you can put it in your nursery or on your nightstand, and then be like, when you're about to nurse your baby or pump or go to sleep, you can read these thought prompts like, what do I want motherhood to feel like? What matters most in my life? What makes me feel the most calm and helps manage stress? They're to keep your head in a positive headspace and to help you like transition into the motherhood role. So if you're interested in that, heyshayla.com/shop. And today, I am on the other side. I just made a video like a month or two ago talking about how weaning my second has just been brutal. And in the video I was like, you're supposed to make videos from scars, not open wounds. And I was like, this is a gaping open wound and I'm just like struggling so hard with figuring out how to wean this baby. I have night weaning videos if you're interested in that. We did that first. So I was literally nursing her to sleep for her nap, to sleep for nighttime, and then at like that between 4 and 6 a.m. morning sesh that gets them back to sleep. Those were the only times we were nursing. So I realized like we're not necessarily needing to wean from like nursing. We're more dealing with a sleep association. Like she doesn't know how to fall asleep without nursing because I have put her to sleep for her whole life for 1.5 years. She's maybe been put to sleep by someone else for like 5 times in her whole life. Not because my husband is an absent husband, but because I'm like, why would I make you do it? You're gonna struggle through it. I got a boob, I'll put her to sleep. And I just did it every time. Where with my first, I was like, no, we are 50-50 here. You are gonna put that baby to sleep. You guys are gonna figure it out. With my second, I was like, you get the toddler, I get the baby, go. And so I created a very dependent little monkey. So I made the video just being like, this is what's not working. Well, turns out she was starting to get sick. Oh, there's a few different strategies that I've learned to weaning. The first most important thing that is universal is that it's not just for nutrients, it's for comfort. So instead of when they're getting fussy and they're like, no, I want to nurse, being like, no, we're not nursing. Like, here's something else to do. You want to like put them in a carrier or like hold them or go snuggle them on the couch or sit and eat a snack, like keep them close because they're like, you're taking this comfort piece away from me. Replace it with something. Comfort me. But I've heard people they'll set a timer. And so each session they'll nurse for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, then 8 minutes, then 6 minutes, then 5 minutes, and it just slowly goes down until it's like, okay, there's 2 more minutes, okay, we're just gonna do like a quick 10-second nurse session until it's like over. I've heard of people replacing it with like a cup of water. Okay, so as I'm watching this video, as I'm editing it, I'm realizing that I left out a few really important things. So I just wanted to pop back in here to make sure that I gave you all the details that I wanted to, because when I watch weaning videos, I'm like, give me all the tips you have, give me all the information you have. And I don't just want to be like, here's exactly what we did, because every family is different, every kid is different, every situation is different. So I do tell you exactly what we did, but I also want to throw in some other things that really, really helped instead of refilming the whole video. Anyway, don't offer, don't refuse. So when you're starting out the weaning process, Carrie Lochner says this, and I've seen this on a lot of other things. It's just a very slow process. So you're not like, hey, do you want to nurse? But if they ask, you don't refuse. And that's just kind of how you start to like take out some of the nursing sessions. Eventually, if they ask, instead of going, no, we're not doing that, you go, oh, let's go have a snack, or let's snuggle, or you like offer something else. But in the beginning, don't offer, don't refuse. The other thing that is really important, High Vitamins is the sponsor of this video. If you are like, I'm so tired of my kids being sick, please try this. Please try High Vitamins. Give it a go. 50% off your first order. And I know what you're thinking. Shayla, Haya is the sponsor of like all your videos. They are. And I'm so geeked about it. When I find a brand that I genuinely love and I get to re-partner with them over and over and over, I'm like, Yes. Hiya was a brand that I was pretty skeptical of in the beginning because I was like, how can everyone love them? Like, what's so great about them? Then my sister got them and I was like, you got Hiya? They're for $2+. So my daughter tried the vitamins, loved them. So I was like, fine, I'll order them. We have had significantly less sick days. And I'm not even kidding. I didn't even know that kids needed a multivitamin. There's so many reasons why I love Hiya. There's 0 sugar in these vitamins. I don't understand why vitamins have sugar. They have 12 fruits and veggies, so if you have a picky eater, that's super nice. They have a refillable container. So with your first order, using my link or code HeyShayla, you get 50% off. And then every month, you get a eco-friendly refillable. Like I said, I keep partnering with them because I genuinely love them. And my daughter loves them. Like today, she was upset that she could only have one. So if your kids are not on a multivitamin yet, definitely try out Hiya and see if your sick days also reduce. I don't know. The one the tactics that I used this time. So like I said, we tried in December. It was so bad. Like one night she didn't fall asleep till like 10 and I was just like, if I give in now, then she's gonna think if she cries long enough, they'll eventually give it to her. Well, she was sick. So I felt terrible later. We stopped. I was just like, we just need a hard reset where I'm not trying to get her, because it became a thing where she's like, nurse, I want to, and I was like, okay, it doesn't need to be like this stressful thing. So we're just gonna nurse like normal, which still was just nap bedtime in the morning, not make it a thing, and then we'll figure it out later. What I did, another strategy, is to put Bandaids on your nipples. I was like, well, let's just give it a go. But she had actually made like a lesion on my nipple. So it was like a group activity. It was like my baby and my toddler. And I was like, guys, come here. You see this? You see this like lesion here? Ow, ow. So they helped me put Band-Aids on my nip in a little cross thing. I felt like I was going to a rave, but I was just being a mom. So that one was like out of commission. And that was it. She never nursed on this side again. We only nursed on this side. So for like half the day, I would be like lopsided and then she'd nurse and go back down. And I'd be lopsided and she'd nurse and go back down. It was great. And you have to change these. I left that on for a couple days. You're still kind of lactating. It smelled foul when I tried to take those Band-Aids off. So change your Band-Aids. Another thing that I wanted to say, because I feel like this is a concern for a lot of people. What do I do when I stop? Do I need a pump? Do I need to alleviate that pressure? Like what happens? I did mine so gradually that I just stopped. And you'd still get a little leakage, still get a little leak occasionally. No like mastitis, no backed up anything, no clogged ducts. But I am not really prone to that. I've never had mastitis. I think I've had one clogged duct maybe. I'm not even sure. So that's definitely different for everybody. I've heard cabbage leaves in your bra can help when you're weaning to like dry it up. I don't know. But I just thought that would be the question where people are like, okay, you just stop nursing on that side. Like what happened then? And that's it. I just stopped. And same when I stopped on the other side, it just stopped. And I didn't pump, but I didn't feel a ton of pressure or anything. So, I mean, now my boobs are inverted. I went from having like no boobs to like nice big breastfeeding boobs to like negative boobs. So that's been fun. When we weren't nursing like for naps, she was skipping naps because she wasn't like upset about not nursing. She was upset that sis was in the living room and she wasn't. So she'd stand at the door and just be like, Sissy, and just wanted to go out there. And I was like, I don't know what to do here. So we would just skip naps and then I would get cranky and whatever. So I just started talking to her about it. There's 3 books that I will recommend. I need to look them up. 2 of them are night weaning books. Sees When the Sun Shines, maybe. I'll put the pictures up and I'll put the links in the description. And then the other one's like Sally Stops Night Nursing. That one's great because you visually see them nursing. And Ezzy would be like, nursing. And she'd be like, no nursing. And I just changed the name. Ezzy's getting bigger now. She doesn't need to nurse. Mommy's milk is going away. I don't remember what that book. But I would replace it and kind of like change the story a little bit so it's more applicable to us. And then the day nursing one is just like an all around, like we're done nursing. And it talks about just like how mommy's milk will go, but our love will grow. That's the name of the book. That one makes me cry every time. I'm like, because it's like, well, what are we going to do now? Well, we're still going to have fun. And we're still going to do. And I'm like, that's another thing. That's another thing. Every weaning video should tell you that your hormones can go absolutely bonkers. I feel like it was a little bit tapered off for me this time because I didn't like go from nursing a lot to like, it was a gradual stop. Last time I did it, there was like 3 days where I was literally like, I need to call my therapist. We need to do couples counseling. I need to do private counseling. I need ADD medication, antidepressant, and anxiety medication, like all of them together. Like I'm not okay. Seth was like, what's going on? I was like, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Because your hormones do another crash and you just bottom out. Like it is gnarly. Just know that you're gonna get through it. It's just your hormones rerouting. It's fine. Here's another thing that we did. So my daughter needed a lot of talking about it. So we did books, we talked about it, we role played. These kids that are like over 1, they take their babies and they nurse their babies. Am I right or am I right? So when she would nurse, I'd be like, oh, I think your milk is all gone. Tell your baby all gone, we can snuggle. Or she'd be like, Mommy, you nurse. And I'd be like, oh, I can't nurse because Mommy doesn't have any more milk, remember? Do you have milk for your baby? She would say yes or whatever. Again, like that role playing was super helpful. We're doing it between 18 months and 2 years, so that age I feel like can comprehend that. So give that a go. That was really effective. We would nurse for a little while and then I would say, now as he's getting bigger, so is the milk all gone? Because I know that I'm drying up. And she'd be like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Well, when you're ready, say, all done. Pull my shirt down and you can have a squeezer. Not recommended by dentists. Did it with Aaliyah. I'll probably keep doing it with us for like a month or something and then transition to water. It's terrible for their teeth because they eat it and then they go to sleep. And so I try and have her drink water or something before she falls asleep. So then we would stop nursing and we'd be rocking. She'd usually be like, let's go lay on the bed. So we'd go lay on the bed, she'd eat the squeezer, and she would fall asleep. It takes her a lot still. It takes her a lot longer to fall asleep. Like an hour. It takes her an hour to fall asleep. Where before she'd just be like, nursing, goodbye. Okay, last little nugget here. When it's taking an hour to go to sleep, I remember this when we sleep trained Aaliyah. So Aaliyah was fully weaned, and then I was pregnant with Ez, and I was like, I don't think that I can co-sleep with 2 babies, which I do now, but Aaliyah wasn't in my bed for 4 months. That was just the timing of it. There was no like, at 4 months you can come back in. I don't know what those rules are. You are supposed to check off all the boxes. You have like a nighttime routine. You check off all the boxes for things because at this age, and I'm finding this with my second, they're like, oh, potty. Oh, I need a squeezer. Oh, I'm thirsty. Oh, no. And you're like, go the freak to bed. So we even had like a check sheet so that she could see, okay, we've done this, now we need to do this. I mean, you could just print off pictures of things, whatever. We do our nighttime routine and then I say, okay, I love you, good night. Now after that, anything that's said is responded with, you pick a phrase. Ours was, it's time to go night-night. So then she'd be like, water. And instead of going, no, we're not gonna have water right now, we're gonna go night-night, I would just say, it's time to go night-night. And you do it with compassion and kindness. You're like, it's time to go night-night. Even though that's what you want to do, you're like, just go to sleep, it's time to go night-night. You're like, it's time to go night-night. It's time to go night-night. And so now that's what I do with Esme. When she's like, Sissy, I want to go watch a show, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, it's time to go night-night. You bring her back to the same position. It's time to go night-night. I love you. It's time to go night-night. That helped a lot this time with weaning. So, let's see. I taped off my nip December 18th, the one side. Then December 23rd, I tried going cold turkey. That was a huge fail, where we were like skipping naps. We stayed up till 10 p.m. one night. It was just all bad. Then we did a hard reset. January 4th, we started incorporating the squeezers and just talking about it and reading the books, and like it was just a lot of conversation. So Thursday, January 4th. Then the following week, I was like, okay, we've been doing squeezers successfully. She has not nursed to sleep in a week, and I'm ready. So I sat in the living room and we taped both nips off again. Taped it off. She did it with me. I said, now mommy's milk is all gone. So now, instead of nursing, we're gonna snuggle. And I just made it really exciting. We're gonna snuggle, we're gonna hug, we're gonna kiss, we're gonna have squeezers. And like, she would get so excited, but she'd be like, yee. So when we got there, I showed her. I was like, no, mommy's milk's all gone. Like the Band-Aid is there. It doesn't work anymore, but we can still snuggle. And she was like, okay. I think she protested a little bit, but then she was like, all right, I gave her the squeezer. She had that. And then we laid down and went to sleep. And that was Friday. It was been a week. We have not nursed in a week. That's nuts. Crazy. If you had told me in the video that I made before that this would happen, I would probably believe you because eventually she's gonna stop nursing. But it's hard because now I feel like she might be getting sick and I'm like, you need my antibody. Done yet. I remember with Aaliyah, I would pump when I was nursing Ez and give it to my toddler. And she thought it was the coolest thing. I would just pump the milk out, put it in a cup, and she'd drink it, and she thought it was awesome. I obviously don't have any more milk, but you only need an ounce. So I wonder if I could get an ounce and just pump and give it to her for the antibodies. It's not the same. The saliva needs to exchange. I don't know. I've also noticed that she's started to be more snuggly with like dad or with grandpa or different people, which is, I love. Because Seth had a really hard time bonding with her because she was so attached to me. Like I said, we divided and conquered. He got the toddler, I got the baby. So this baby was just like attached to me all the time. And so now he's like, this is so cool. She wants me, she wants to snuggle me. And it's just fun to see that happen. So I guess my advice is don't be super rigid. I was just trying to be consistent and like, if I tell you no, we're not gonna nurse. I'm not gonna keep going back and forth. And there is some truth to that. But if your baby is like, not ready, like mine was not ready, it's because she was sick, or maybe there was just the timing where she was just like, what are we doing, let's not do this. Give yourself some grace, give it a little more time, try and do it slowly. Like if you're not down to just the naps, snuggling seriously is like keeping them close is super helpful. If they're not ready and you're trying to do it gently, just try and slowly do it and know that it's not a linear path, and like sometimes you might nurse them and then you're gonna have to go back and forth, and it literally takes months. And with my first daughter, it took 4 months between night weaning and officially weaning. And now we're at the same spot, right? Early September, October, November, December, January, 4 months. 4 months where we've been like talking about it and slowly getting there. So please give yourself lots of time. Give yourself a runway. If you're trying to do it gently, if your baby takes a bottle or they go to sleep with someone else, that will be easier. Some people were like, oh, I just had them dad do bedtime more, or like for a week, and that's what did it. I did that with my first because she could fall asleep with dad. So I was like, okay, dad, you do naps for this week and then I'll do bedtimes. And then he slowly worked into bedtimes, and then I came back in and we weren't nursing. So like there's so many ways to do it. She would have never gone to bed with dad. That's not even true. She probably would have, but I was just like, I feel like that's abandoning her, where she's like, where's my mom? What's happening? Try and come up with some sort of plan, because that's helpful just for yourself to know like what you're doing, because I was so back and forth and wishy-washy and things just were not working. So luckily I found something that worked, and this is just me giving you so much encouragement. Find the thing that works. The books helped me the most. I think it was age appropriate, like at the 1.5 to 2 year mark. Squeezers or like some other thing. Like I said, we're gonna have to swap it for water, but I wanted to make this video to wrap it up and like tell you that we made it through. And here's my video from scars, not open gaping wounds. Thank you guys all for watching. I would love to hear any advice or any things that worked for you or did not work for you when weaning your baby, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye.